All right, let's get started.
All right, I forgot to unmute myself. Okay, when we say we are the hot mess mamas, y'all, let me just say the 30 minutes before this class, I was running around the neighborhood chasing a dog that got out. So I'm like, I gotta get back in time. So you are in the right place if you are struggling to hold it all together and wanting to know some tips and tricks and just be, let me turn my volume off on my phone. Just want to, one, know you're not alone. We're all in this together. And two, some tools, some resources. And guys, you will hear from our hearts, little secret, we don't have it all together. You're not going to hear claims of us having it all together. I brushed my teeth and put mascara on after running around chasing the dog. So, you know, that's just sometimes how it rolls. But I hope you hear our hearts, and I hope you hear and identify with some of our, just the things that we're going to share and that has helped us over the last, I don't know, cumulatively, I'm not going to count because I don't math, but 7 years for me. And all of us have been using oils with Young Living in particular for anywhere from 6 to 12 years, I want to say. Is that right, Molly? You're 12? I'm 7 going on 8. And again, this is a class that is Young Living specific. What we share in our time together does not talk about any other brand, any other company. So what we share that we do for our own families and what we're using is exclusively Young Living. So please do not go to TJ Maxx, don't go to Target, don't go to Walmart and take our recommendations because we, anyway, there's some not nice things I could say. We do not want texts or phone calls from you guys saying, I tried something and this is what happened, that has happened with me before. So I'm just going to give a little bit of background for Young Living. Okay, so 8 years ago, Joy on my screen is right here. I don't know where she is and everybody else, but Joy Ballard is the person who first shared essential oils with me right about 8 years ago. It'll be 8 years this coming fall. And guys, I did not know what lavender oil was from olive oil, from Crisco, from coconut oil. Like I did not know. So if you're coming from ground zero, you're okay. Just know that too, okay? You know, but we have been using, practicing, experimenting, falling on our faces, getting back up again and doing it all over for quite a few years now. So there is no such thing as a stupid question when we open it up for questions or, you know, later on when you contact any of us. Do not be embarrassed to ask anything because trust me, and Joy is nodding her head. I have asked every single stupid question out there. Trust me. Okay, so Young Living is the company we're talking about. And I'm just going to go over quickly their seed to seal. You know, you hear about therapeutic grade essential oils, you hear about organic, you hear about different things and all these different terms that are thrown out there. In a nutshell, Young Living is a company that's been around for 25 years. They are the leader. They are the first essential oil company in the US and the ones that have gone before all the others. They have years, like thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of documents, records. They are the gold standard to distillation of plants. All the other companies compare themselves to Young Living. I get sent other brands, questions about other brands all the time in comparison to Young Living. Okay, if people are constantly comparing, why not just go with the legit real deal? That's kind of my nutshell response now. But in a kinder response, they're from the dirt, the soil, to the time it comes to your door in whatever product, whether it's a bath product, whether it's the insect repellent, which I just came in my box this last week, to lavender essential oil. from the very dirt in the ground to when it arrives on your doorstep, they can tell you where it comes from. So the cultivation practices, like all of their farms are 50 years organic soil, like nothing has grown before in their soil for the last 50 years. The whole organic industry, it is like what, 5 to 7 years? Joy could go into that more, but that's totally different. So they're cultivate 2 years. 3, she's 3 years. The soil has to have not had other crap on it. Okay, I'll go with the 50 years because we use it very therapeutically. I want crap lives in soil forever. Okay, to their distillation practices, to their testing, to their, when that label goes in the bottle and arrives on your door, they are 100% guaranteed. So in a nutshell, you pay what you get for, and I go with the best and have never looked back. If you want more in-depth information, contact one of us because we can get you documentation and all of that kind of stuff. But I am not a, what they call the color personalities, a deep green personality, so I'm not going to go in-depth on all of that. Okay, ways to use oils: aromatically, internally, and topically. Again, when we're talking ingestion, Young Living only. Again, huge, huge, huge deal. And topically, what goes on your skin is not filtered through your liver. It goes straight into your bloodstream. So whatever you're putting on your skin goes straight into the body. It's a big deal, whether it's, again, sunscreen or insect repellent or the lotion that we slather, you know, our Bath and Body Works Love products go straight to our bloodstream. So those are the 3 different ways. We've got our diffusers. I've got one back there. You can put oils on your skin, the different products that Young Living has on the skin. And then right now I'm doing a longevity challenge, ingesting longevity vitality for 30 days because somebody said it gives you a facelift, and I'm past the age of 40 and I just want to see. So I'm ingesting the longevity vitality and doing that challenge. Okay, quick safety tips. Keep your essential oil bottles closed and store them in a cool location. I'm going off my cheat sheet notes. Have a carrier oil nearby. And when I say carrier oil, like olive oil or coconut oil, they're fatty oils. Those are ones that if something feels hot to the skin, if a specific oil feels hot to the skin, you can use a carrier oil to kind of spread it out and dilute it. If at first you're like, this didn't work, like I was expecting these results, remember everybody's body chemistry is different. Try something else. Experiment. What works for me may not work exactly for you, or it may take a little bit longer, or you might have quicker results than me. Remember, we're all built differently. Young Living oils can be an incredible source of comfort, balance. You're going to hear that through the stories tonight. Oh, when you are adding essential oils to bath water, which we do a lot at our house, mix it in Epsom salt first. Don't drop oils on the top and then sit on it. Nobody wants peppermint oil or that sort of thing in their hoo-ha. No, that hurts. Just FYI. Mix it up. Okay? Yeah, essential oils don't belong near the eyes. Those gentle little orifices, you don't want to get them in the eyes. If by accident you do what my husband did and get oregano oil in the eye, you won't die. It might melt a contact and you have to remove it. Has happened to me too. Grab a carrier oil, and just like you would if you got jalapeno peppers in your eye, you can smush a whole bunch of coconut oil, olive oil in your eyes and flush it out. You will truly be fine. It's going to hurt a little bit though. So our favorite carrier oils, Young Living has a sweet almond oil called V6. That's actually a combination of some different oils. You can get that. I have a big old thing of coconut oil. Kind of pick and choose. Do not use a hydrogenated oil though. Just bad for the body in general. Citrus oils are photosensitive, and if you put lemon oil on your face or a citrus oil on your face and you go tanning, don't call me. You will burn. You are not an orange that is supposed to ripen in the sunshine. They're distilled from the rind. You will you can end up with some wicked. So, we put things under the skin if it's a citrus oil or ingest, just FYI. Don't fear them. Ask a ton of questions. Use, experiment. That's how you learn. And when something goes awry, contact one of us. We'll help walk you through it, because trust us, it's happened to us. All right. That's what I'm supposed to cover, right, Molly?
Yes, great job.
Okay.
Great job. Excellent. Excellent. Now we're going to switch gears and talk to Madison Goodyear, and she is going to see if I can find her. There she is. There she is. Now I'm like, there she is. Awesome. All right, Madison's joining us from Missouri, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Rain here. All right, so hi, everybody. I'm Madison, like Molly said, and I'm really excited to just share with you some mom hacks, some stories of mine.
Hey, Madison, you're muted. All of a sudden, you're muted. Sorry.
Oh, that's weird. I unmuted myself. I don't know what happened.
Go back.
I'll just start over. Okay, I'll start over. I'm Madison, and I'm just really excited to share with you guys some mom hacks, some tricks I've picked up along the way. I think this is my year 7. I have some hard times. I'm like, Melinda, I don't do the math. So I think this is year 7 for me. And I always say this, that it just blows my mind that 7 years has gone by, because on one hand, it's like time flies when you're having fun. But as cliche as this sounds, I honestly can't remember life before young living sometimes, because it was just harder. And like, that's what I want to show you guys tonight, are some of the things I picked up along the way that have just made my life as a mom, as a woman, as a busy human being, have made my life so much easier. And one reason I really loved this title we chose of Getting Off the Hot Mess Express is because I just feel like I could really relate to that, because like we said, like, we're that mom. Like, I am that mom. Like, ask these people who know me. Like, some days I wonder how I even get myself through the day, much less like everyone who depends on me. And I really did kind of fall victim to this mentality of, you guys have heard this, that this whole movement, this whole culture of it's okay to not be okay. And I get what they're saying. It's okay to admit that you don't have it all together. It's okay to reach out and ask for help. It's okay to not be okay. I understand the point of the message, but I do feel like this culture, this young mom culture, sometimes we take it too far. And we're just like, listen, I am a hot mess mama, and like, what you see is what you get. And it kind of ends up leading down a path of complacency, which can spiral with depression and anxiety and feeling like this is just the way it is. Like, it's not just me, it's everyone, it's fine, so I'll just give up. And for me, at least, I can relate to that. I have been there, and I can get back there pretty easily if I don't keep it in check. So I want to show you guys some tricks that have really helped me stay like above that line of just treading water and feeling anxious, because I feel like a lot of people deal with that. And we're getting to the point as a culture where we're all okay talking about it, but then you have to do something past just talking about it. You have to do something, otherwise you're just wallowing. So I want to show you some of my favorite things that have really rescued me from, I'm going to call it, sometimes I'm like, my postpartum depression. I have an almost 5-year-old as my youngest, so maybe I shouldn't call it that anymore. Okay, so one of my easiest little hacks, and I'm a lot of these things I'm talking about are actually in the starter kit, which is great, because we don't want you to get a starter kit and then feel like you just have to go out and just start buying more stuff right away. Like, you should be able to use what's in your starter kit. One of these guys right here, you should be able to get that in the mail and really make some awesome life changes just with what's in the box. So I'm going to show you some extra stuff too, but my very favorite hack is peppermint. just plain old peppermint. Do not sleep on peppermint. I know we think like, oh, peppermint is so minty and we all love it. But one of my best tricks is for instant energy. And it's not just like, oh, it smells so invigorating. I'm talking like for real energy. So if any of you actually have peppermint nearby, you should do this while I'm talking. What you do is you take a drop of peppermint in the palm of your hands, and then you put it on the outside of your ear. So this whole ridge right here, coat it, like a whole drop or two, just slather this cartilage on the outside of your ear. And then give it about 2 to 5 minutes. At first, it's gonna feel kind of cold and nice. And next thing you know, it's like a major boost of energy. And sometimes you just need it, okay? You don't always have quick access to a nitro or a zing or a cup of coffee. And that peppermint on the ear trick has rescued me so many times. But beyond just peppermint on the ears, this is just like, if I could only take one oil with me when I left the house, it might be peppermint, which it would be really mean to make me choose. But if I had to pick one, it might be peppermint because it's just so versatile. I use it for tummy stuff. I keep it in my water for some energizing, digestive smoothing, beverage. And it's also great for my headaches. Now, everyone's headaches are different. If you suffer from chronic headaches, then you need to ask yourself, why am I having headaches? Are they stress related? Are they hormone related? Am I dehydrated? Do I need sleep? Do I clench my teeth at night? There's a million reasons you can have a headache. And so if you have a headache, you need to find out why are you having headaches. But when I get stress headaches, peppermint is the bomb for my headaches. So this is just my go-to mom oil. That's just kind of what I call it. And I know maybe you're expecting something a little more exciting than peppermint, but it's peppermint. The next thing I want to talk about is your diffuser. Also, I just want to say really quick that I got to have a sneak peek at what everyone's talking about tonight. And I'm just really excited to listen to everybody's stories because I could just say ditto to everything they're going to talk about because, oh my gosh, we're talking about so much great stuff tonight. So I really hope you are taking notes. But your diffuser, guys, this is not just an alternative to your air fresheners. This is called treating yourself on a cellular level. You can totally change the direction of your day and the atmosphere of your home with your diffuser. So I want to show you one of my favorite diffuser blends, but it's also one of my favorite roller blends. And I'm going to give one away. It looks like a total mermaid in here. I put some rainbow fluorite. So this is like super dreamy, you guys. Rainbow fluorite is a crystal. And so this is just like a little energy boost waiting to happen right here. But my favorite diffuser blend and also my favorite roll-on is equal parts Valor, Stress Away. I'm not going to grab them all. Valor, Stress Away, Peace and Calming, and frankincense. These are all oils in the starter kit. Frankincense, Stress Away, Valor, Peace and Calming. It is the best smell, and it's just like an instant calm. So there's a ton of great diffuser blends you can make with your oils that come in the starter kit, but that's my favorite. It is heaven. I'm kind of like looking at the comments down here. It's like, oh my gosh. I make rollers sometimes, and then I kind of I'm not a huge roll-on person, but this one, I refill it probably every other week because I use it like crazy. It smells so good. How many drops of each? I'm kind of heavy-handed. I go for about 15 or 20 drops of each because I don't want to be all greasy and I want all that oil on me. But you can make it however you like. In the diffuser, I probably do 2 drops of each, 3 drops of each, depending on what size diffuser you're using. But in the diffuser that comes with the standard kit, probably 2 drops of each. If you're just starting out, if you're brand new to oils, maybe start with 1 drop each and just see how you like it. You totally get to customize that. That's what's so fun is that's up to you. So don't forget about your diffuser. It's not just a replacement air freshener. This is really going to change your day. Really quick, I have one more big thing I want to talk about, but also a major thing that is a difference maker for me is Juba Flex. So Juba Flex, anything Young Living talks about that has the word Juba in front of it is liver support. And your liver stores anger. And sometimes mommy gets angry. And the thing is, usually when I have these episodes where I like yell at my kids, it honestly usually has nothing to do with what actually happened. It's me being stressed. It's me being upset about things that I'm not working through in a healthy way. I'm suppressing. And all of a sudden, somebody left the lid off of the jelly and I'm yelling like a crazy person. And they're like, Mom has lost it. Like, it's embarrassing. Has anyone ever had to apologize to their kids? Like, oof, it is a humbling moment. Juvaflex for me is something I can feel go, woo, if I'm starting to feel like, I don't know if I have much control over my emotions right now. I feel the rage boiling. Juvaflex is happy mommy, okay? So right over your liver, if you don't know your liver, you take your hand and put it under your bra line on your right side. That's where your liver is. I slather my liver with Juvaflex and I really feel like it helps me stay calm. Okay, the main thing I want to tell you guys about though, because this to me has been easily the biggest difference maker of my life, maybe, is something called the Great Day Protocol or the Happy Day Protocol. This was formulated by Gary Young, who is the founder of Young Living. And he did pass recently, which is, I'll start getting choked up if I talk about it. But anyway, Gary's no longer with us, but he left a massive legacy and so many tools that are just, life-changing. And this is something that when we implement it, it makes a huge difference in our attitudes, our emotions, how much control I feel like I have over my day. And I do it with my children. We do it in the mornings. Here lately, our mornings start later and later because in quarantine life. But what it is, it's 4 oils. And before you ask, because somebody will ask this, I'm going to show you the 4 oils. Can you make substitutions? I don't recommend it. These 4 oils together are just magic. So are there oils you can swap out while you wait on these to come in your next order? Sure, we'll talk about that. You can message me later, but do get them because these 4 oils together are life-changing. Okay, so the 4 oils are joy. I'll do that thing people do, put their hand behind it. Joy, valor, harmony, and white angelica. So again, I'll put it in the chat after I get done talking. Oh, here goes Joy. Good job, Joy. So valor, harmony, joy, white angelica. And what I typically do is I will turn on a praise and worship song, something that everyone likes to listen to because the frequency of something that's positive like that will also elevate your mood and raise your frequency and get those good vibrations going. And so, and also words have power. So listening to words in a praise and worship song is really something that starts the mood off right. And so when I push play on that, that gives us about 4 minutes right there. And so we each do 1 oil at a time. So we put white angelica, we put it in our hands, and we start at the crown of our head, and we just kind of shield our bodies with the white angelica. So we go all over with the white angelica. And remember, you don't have to use a lot because it's not the liquid you're trying to spread around. It's the teeny tiny molecules. So as long as you can still smell it on your hands, there's still molecules to be spread around. So start out with your white angelica, just 1 or 2 drops. The next one I do is joy over the heart. So, about 2 drops of joy over your heart. With the valor, this one I put on my wrists, on my forearms. And with the harmony, I put it above my belly button. And the kids and I do this together. And during this time, we either are just listening to the music or we're speaking like words of affirmation, or we're just talking about we're speaking intention over our day. We're talking about what type of day we're going to have. We're talking about the things we're going to accomplish. And here's the thing. When we do this, it sets the tone for our entire day. I can tell a huge difference on the day we skip this and the days we do it. there's less bickering, there's less arguing, there's less idle time, there's less whining, there's less, all of that stuff that just adds up and makes a day feel wasted or a day feel just like it was crummy. That is just not apparent on days that we do this. Part of it is the oils and the high frequency and these little tiny molecules that I mentioned doing their jobs, but it's also sitting down and as a family deciding that we're going to have a good day and setting that intention. So make sure you put these oils, you don't already own them, on your list. Maybe this is something you're going to save up and spend essential rewards points on. Harmony, guys, it's not an inexpensive oil, but value-wise, it is worth every drop. Harmony is, we should talk about Harmony more, okay? It is a great day right there. So I know that I've gone over on my time, so I'm gonna just pass the mic to the next person, but I really hope you guys will implement some of these things because they're simple, they're easy, and they make a huge difference in your day. So that's all I have.
That's amazing. And if you guys, a few people asked, where do you find the Happy Day Protocol? You can Google Gary Young, Good Day Protocol. There's a gazillion graphics out there, and it will tell you where to put the harmony, where to put the valor, things like that. All right, Anna is going to share with us next. Where did her video go? We need to see her laundry. There she is, from Nebraska. You have to unmute here. I'll try to unmute you. You have to unmute yourself. Sorry. There you go.
So here's what needs to be ironed. It's been there for about a year. And here's clean clothes on my bed. So welcome to my bedroom, everybody. Woohoo! So anyway, okay. So I'm going to share probably, I hope I don't overshare, but I'm going to be talking about kind of my journey with anxiety. And as I even say that, my heart is racing, and I just sniff some of my lemon oil. But anyway, so kind of the main point that I want people to understand is that, well, first of all, there's so many people that are dealing with anxiety. I'm a naturopathic doctor, and I feel like that is the root cause of so many people's issues, and it makes me sad. I think we're in a fast-paced world, and that makes a difference. We don't take time to slow down and just be. And anyway, so my main point is, well, some of my main points is that I want people to understand that anxiety is not a weakness. We feel like it's a weakness because it's overwhelming. It influences and messes up our day. It's frustrating, it's annoying, it's a long process of healing. But what it is, it's your body's way of screaming at you to say something needs to change. And whether that's physically, emotionally, spiritually, it's your body's way, it's the wake-up call, okay? So whether that be something in your lifestyle, you need to set better boundaries with people. There's relationships that need to disappear or need to change. It could be, I've seen it as simple as there's a food you're eating that's causing anxiety. So there's lots of different reasons that it stems from, but I am kind of going to share a little bit about my journey and the different things I tried, and then finally kind of what has helped the most. But I kind of wanted to share my story and all the things I tried, because I think it's not a one thing works. I feel like it's a puzzle, and there's lots of things that help. And so maybe there's something that I share that you've done this, and you haven't done this, and that might be your thing that is helpful for you. So I'm kind of I was gonna set my timer. Oh, I don't want to pull a Madison and go over. I'm just kidding, Madison. So I probably will though go over. So anyway, so my journey started, I don't feel like I've ever been an anxious person, maybe, but it started about 5 or 6 years ago. My oldest daughter, I have six, I say 6.5 actually, because our youngest is 2, but he's actually a foster child who actually was our foster child. And now still we see him several times a week because he's a half sibling of my youngest who was adopted out of foster care. So anyway, so 6.5 kids. And my oldest was adopted from an orphanage in Zimbabwe. And so kind of my story goes along with her, and I want to be careful how much I share. There's a lot to that. And, but I also want to be respectful as well to her and her story. Anyway, she struggled for years with, she's now 22, struggled for years with mental health issues, you know, as a result of trauma before the age of 2, which I don't know, some of you know firsthand what that's like to live with somebody like that. Very, very, very chaotic, very walking on eggshells, very explosive at times. A lot of unsafe behaviors, suicide attempts, hospitalizations, residential facilities. I mean, it was big. And finally we got to the point, I mean, she no longer was able to even live with us. But dealing with that, it really what it came down to is then I developed PTSD from living with her. And that's kind of what started the journey. I called it journey like it was fun. Anyway. But we would, like, how it started for me was I would start to go places and feel dizzy, or my heart would race, or I'd start sweating, or at first it was just doctor's offices because that's where I spent a lot of time with my daughter. And then it was when I went to the doctor. And then it was when one of my other children went to the doctor or to the dentist. Then it was when I went to the grocery store. And then it was when I went to the bank. And then it was at my kids' school watching games. Like I would feel like I was going to pass out. It was just like, I felt like I totally had to withdraw into myself because I was so nervous to talk to people because I thought I'm going to pass out. You know, it was the strangest things. There was all these symptoms and I did not know it was anxiety, and which sounds crazy, but I thought it's my blood sugar. It's whatever, it's something I'm eating. It's my hormones. It's, you know, I went down all these things. Like I made a list. I was thinking about all the things I tried. So chiropractor. So this is where I want you to sort of take note because these might be pieces to your puzzle. Chiropractor, different supplements, essential oils, hormone testing, diet. I did genetic testing with the 23andMe, massage, sauna, applied kinesiology. I did detoxes. I did counseling. I bought a biomat. I worked on sleep because I wasn't sleeping. And clearly people, you have to be sleeping because that's when your body regenerates and heals. And so I wasn't sleeping. I did EFT. I did different kinds of tapping. I mean, oh my goodness, like I tried it on all and it seemed like everything helped a little bit until it didn't help anymore. And so what finally kind of, well, first I want to step back a little bit because I think this is something that we can all resonate with as parents is the amount, when you have a child that struggles like that, or what it might be a spouse, it might be a parent, whatever it is, there's an incredible amount of shame that you feel. So we're a small community. We had, to me, like I felt like everybody knew because we had tons of ER visits, you know, like the doctors go to my church and where she worked, we had ambulance calls there because of something that happened. The school, there was big events, like And so to me, I felt like everybody was watching me and like that. And I feel like shame is big for us as moms and as parents. And we screw up, but there's a difference between shame and guilt. Shame is I am bad. Guilt is I did something wrong, but I'm not bad. And so I really had to, on a spiritual level, work through that, the issue of shame. So I just want to throw that out there because I think that's important. And I brought some books. If you guys have ever read any, I don't know, Brené Brown, I don't know if any of you, her whole life, she has researched shame, and it is fantastic. So I have like Rising Strong and Dare to Lead. Oh, I took the cover off. Dare to Lead. Fantastic books. Hold on. Anyway, so I just wanted to throw that in there. I'm kind of looking at my notes a little bit too. So anyway, so I tried all these things and I got to the point where it was even like hard for me to drive because I just felt like I was gonna like lose my mind, or like I don't know. But finally, I realized it was anxiety. So I eventually did get there, and I went back to my counselor, and she's like, we have never done any trauma work. And so what we did was, and I'm not gonna be able to explain it. It's called EMDR. It's eye desensitization, rapid eye movement. I don't know. It's you can Google it, EMDR. And so basically what we were working on is to rewire my brain just by thinking about past traumatic things that came up. And anyway, I'm not gonna explain it because it's like I wouldn't explain it right. Anyway, so basically we went through that, and that brought me the most relief of anything. And what I did was, part of that process is she walks you through finding a calm place. So you picture your calm place, where you're at, how it feels, and all these things, okay? So when you feel anxious, you've worked on rewiring your brain, but when you feel anxious, you think back to that calm place. So what I added in was essential oils to that process. So I'm in my calm place. I practice being in my calm place. My calm place is my bed covered with blankets, and that's what I go back to. Well, what I did was I started associating oils with that place. So what I do now is when I'm out and about, or I'm feeling anxious, or I know I have to go someplace that is a little bit harder, I use those oils, and your body that limbic system, it just remembers. I mean, that's how our brain is wired, based on smell. Like it's like, if you have a memory, you always think about chocolate chip cookies at grandma's house. I don't know, whatever. And so when you smell chocolate chip cookies or homemade bread, it takes you back to where you were at, where you smelled homemade bread, grandma's, and so you feel this, that was so, I love grandma, or whatever. That is that system working. And so I started to do more research on it because it fascinates me, and I feel like it's very helpful with someone who's struggling with anxiety, is if you can correlate that smell to a calming place, and then when you're out and about, you can use that, and it's very, very helpful. Some of the oils I wanted to share with you that worked well, that I use now. Well, actually, how much time do I have? Oh, 1 second. Give me just one more minute.
You're fine. They did ask a question. Which oils did you specifically use?
Okay. So I, for some reason, really resonate with citrus oils. Well, I think they're uplifting. I think they remind me of spring, of sunshine. And so those, like really any citrus oils, the citrus fresh, lemon, orange, like, oh, I love them. So like when I go out, I put those on me, and I'm going to tell you, okay, so I did 2 sessions of EMDR with my counselor, and I was having anxiety attacks multiple times a day, and nobody would have ever known it. If you, even if people know me, they wouldn't have known it, because I just felt bad. Like I just felt bad. I don't know how else to say it. But since I've done that and associated the oil so I can go out, I think I've had like 3 anxiety attacks since. I call them attacks, but do you guys know what I mean? Since October. So how many months is that? Like, that's huge. Like I couldn't do anything, you guys. I couldn't do anything. And I feel like people probably thought I was a snob, because I would start talking to somebody, I'd feel bad, and I would quickly cut the conversation off and leave. Like I couldn't. And so anyway, okay, so citrus oils, frankincense, it's my baby, I love it. And so again, I just I'll put it like behind my neck, on my face. Frankincense is good for just brain health in general, but for me, it was just very grounding and calming. And then Valor. And I know Madison talked a little bit about Valor, but Valor is another one that I just doused myself with and drank it, whatever. So now what I'm doing, kind of my new regimen now is I've started the Ningxia Red. And so I do an ounce of that every day with MindWise, which is another scrumptious, yummy drink. And what's interesting is I can never tolerate Ningxia Red before, nor could I tolerate B complexes, which those things are so huge for your body, for overall health. You know, B complex, when you're under stress, chronic stress, those vitamins just get sucked from your body, and you need those to function. Like you need those. So I can't even tolerate those. So now I'm a rock star. Like I can use those. So Ningxia, and then my citrus oils, frankincense, I kind of use those as needed. I still use my citrus oils pretty much every day, because especially now when we're home, I want my body to remember that my safe place and associate it with those oils. Do you guys know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Okay. So, and then the other thing I do is Endoflex. It's great for the endocrine system. So hormones, thyroid, because my thyroid throughout that period just tanked. Like it just tanked. I sucked the life out of it because I was always so stressed and worked up. So Endoflex is great for that. So I just you can put it on your thyroid or put it over your adrenal glands, which is, they're on your back above your kidneys. And then I guess lemon, that was another citrus one. So that, I think that's pretty much it. Anyway, I want you guys to know there's, my process was a very long process, and I'm still not healed. I mean, I don't know, I'm 1,000 times better, and it's great. And it's been a combination of things. I still go to the chiropractor. I still, exercise. Those things are still all super, super important. I might drink lots of water. I eat well, relatively not so much lately, but okay. But I knew that there are certain foods that were triggers, as well. Well, anyway, that's a whole different topic. But so there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle. And I just want to tell you guys that if you're patient and you find the right people to come alongside you and help you, like all of us who are teaching, we all also do, like I'm a naturopath, so this is what I do. But, and I'll have you know that another great tip is I went back to school to become a naturopath during this time because my brain, I felt like was turning to mush and I needed something, I needed to exercise my brain and find something positive to think about and to do and to work towards. So see something great happen. And there's lots of great things that happen through this journey. But that was just one of them. Like I went back to school and I was, I don't know, 39, 38 and became a naturopath. And so I didn't always know this stuff. That was part of the process. But there is hope. You know, God could have healed me like that. He can do that. He chose not to, but it's still a journey, and he has been gracious and given me lots of resources, lots of people, and lots of help along the way. So I just want to encourage you guys in that because life is hard. It's hard, and but we can do this. We can do this. So be encouraged.
Great encouragement. That is awesome. Thank you so much, Anna. That was thank you for sharing your story and being so transparent with us in your story, because that's what and everyone is in the comments, they're loving it. They are so glad.
Thank you. And you know what, you guys are the only ones, I don't even think I have friends, my close friends know my full story. I don't even think my husband does.
Yeah.
So you guys are the first. You got it all.
That's right. That's awesome. I think that's awesome though. I love it. I think that's awesome. And it's neat to hear the whole transformation, and that's what's awesome about it. So of course I'm going to have someone come in. My littlest one had his tonsils taken out last week, so he's still recovering, and so his brothers are going to come get him. And so anyway, go to your brothers just real quick. All right, I'm sorry. So this is real life, right? I mean, hot mess mama. Come get your brother. And so let me share a little bit of my story and how, shut the door please, and how I control my emotions. All right, so it all started, like she said, 12 years, like it's been 12 years that we've been using Young Living. But at the same time, for me, it was about 18 months of our life. Yeah, I'd say 18 months. It was a little over a year. I started we moved and I started homeschooling. And then just to get out of the house, because I was with children, 2 little children, 6 and 4, 24/7. I asked my husband, I said, can I just go and teach a Young Living class? And I started teaching Young Living. So I started a business. We lived in this rent house that was like 30 minutes from anything. And I also found out I was expecting my 3rd one that just came in. And so we found out we were expecting right when we submitted the papers to build our forever dream home. And so we had to stop and change the plans on that. Then we started building this home. My oldest son was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. We had to pack up from this rent house, move to our new house, and then I gave birth. So like 18 to 12 months, my life was a basket case. It was upside down. Nothing was going right. I felt like I was just running around chasing myself. Like I didn't know top from bottom, everything. I had taken on so many new roles. I had done so many new things. And so for me, and this is what's funny about Anna and Madison talking about time. I am not I don't want to have, hang on a second. See, I didn't even start my timer. And so my kids are texting me with, come get him. I'm working, just a second. And so anyway, but with time management, that was one thing that I'm still working on, and I'm still getting that down in progress. But I have learned that if I don't give my time a name or put my time in a slot, then my day is gone. Have you ever done that? Have you ever sat down and been like, oh my gosh, where's the day gone? Where's the time gone? I don't know where it's gone. And it's just gone. Or you're like, I got nothing done that I was supposed to get done today. So we all have 24 hours in our day. And think about this, way back when 100 years ago, grandma had 24 hours in her day as well. Just bring him in here. And so life is busy, life happens. You can sit here, but you have to be quiet, okay? Life is busy, life happens. Days are long, the years are short, right? The years are short. So you have to give your days time. You have to give all of your days, they have to count. Because even the past week since he has had surgery, this is what we've been doing. And we'll put our oils on, we'll be doing good for a few hours, and then this is what we do again. And so a lot of it's mom guilt. You know, we deal with mom guilt. I was guilty just now saying, tell him to go on. And so, but, you know, life happens. So we feel guilty as a mom, and we think, I didn't show him enough time, or I didn't do this or that. And I found a couple of tools, and this is one tool that I have to use all the time. And I'll put a link to it, but it's time blocking. Callie Shepard does a great time blocking thing where she writes down, before you go to bed, write down 3 things that you need to get done the next day. And then give yourself time throughout the day to get those things done. Put your wellness. Think about this as a mom. If you don't put your oxygen, they tell you this on the plane, right? Put your oxygen mask on first so you can take care of the child next to you. If you don't put your oxygen mask on, you can't take care of your family. You can't take care of your kids. So you have got to find that, even if it's, last night, I literally sat in my closet on the floor and I read my devotion book because he was sleeping in my bed, everyone else was asleep, and I sat there in my closet on the floor. But I was like, I need 5 minutes to myself. And so that time blocking is very helpful because it shows you where your time should go. She has a whole blog and a post about that. So I'll put that on there. So when I tell my time where to go, then that's one thing that I do. So one of the first things that I do when I wake up, like they mentioned, okay, the Great Day Protocol right here in this lovely little marble holder that Young Living sent me. But I put my white Angelica on first thing, because when my feet hit the floor, somebody's going to want something out of me. No, you know, I mean, whether it's my husband, whether it's a text message, whether it's my kids, whether it's an email from school, no matter what, someone's going to want something. So I put white Angelica on, and I put Valor on, and I actually do the Great Day Protocol, but I put those on first because I'm like, I have to be ready. And then a lot of times I just sit in silence for just a few minutes and just sit in silence. We actually just got some outdoor furniture. And so sitting out and listening to birds, listening to nature, just sitting there. If my kids come out there and join me, that's fine. Drink my coffee. I'm just sitting in silence. I don't go straight to my phone and pick it up, because immediately people are going to want me. They're going to want, and they're going to drain me if I don't put my oxygen mask on first. Then a lot of the oils that I like to use, Stress Away. Stress Away is one that is great. And a lot of times throughout the day, we will continue. I'll put oils in the diffuser. I will stop. And if I realize, oh, we've lost it. Oh, I've lost it. I'm sorry. Let me help you with this or that. I stop, I apply oils, and then we put it on. And then I gather myself, and I may have to apologize, and then we go from there. Frankincense is one that I love to just pour on the crown of my head. I like frankincense. Lavender and peace and calming. Those are also 2 great ones. Just calming. If I feel like one of my kids is, one my favorite, and Anna mentioned this, Endoflex. Through the toddler years and teenage years, Endoflex has been a game changer. And if you feel like your kids are just off, and sometimes your kids get off and then it makes you off, right? So we get our oils out and we apply them right then. And we take care of that. I know. And so 2 kits, Reconnect kit and the Feelings kit, were game changers for me after that 18 months of craziness, to stop, draw a line in the sand and say, okay, we're going to do better from here. And I have to be the captain of my own ship. And I set the thermostat for my family. So if I'm going to lose it, then my whole family's going to lose it. And it's just a cycle. So that is where the time blocking and giving your hours in a day a name and saying, I am only going to spend time with my kids at this time. I am only going to spend time with my husband at this time. I'm only going to spend time, at work at this time, because some jobs you'll get fired if you're on your phone or you're doing something else. So you've really got to think of it that way. And so 3 supplements I love and can't live without: Super B, love Super B, Cortistop. Cortistop is another great one. And this helps me if I take it before I go to bed or I take it whenever I wake up. It helps me a ton. And Power Dries. And Power Dries, you're okay. Power Dries is great, and it's great for my energy. And it feels like whenever I take it first thing in the morning, I'm ready to go. But when I take it right before I go to bed, I get amazing, amazing sleep. And so, okay, so moving right along. And if you want to know more about the Reconnect or the Feelings kit and my stories on those, there's my whole YouTube video on those 2 kits alone. And so, moving right along, now we get to listen to Melinda share her story.
Okay, hey everyone, and I will try and keep this, look at my timer here, kind of short to respect your guys' time. My journey with the oils, like I shared early, was more about in the beginning for health reasons. And I actually would not touch, aside from Valor, any of the blends that had an emotion on them. I thought they were hokey. I thought they were stupid. I thought, like, why would you put a label stress away on something? And it is definitely not take your stress away. Like, I thought it was supposed to do immediately what it said on the label. But as you have heard, it is a mind shift. It is a helping to get to that place. It doesn't change your circumstances. And it was actually being thrown into a very difficult foster care situation that, and pardon me if I get teary, because I always cry when I share this part. We ended up in a foster care situation where our little girl, we found out, was terminal, and did not know that when we started the journey. Did not know that she would be admitted to hospice 2 to 3 months into the journey. But long story short, God called us to do that. And through all of that process, I learned I very much needed to look at some of the other side of oils and the whole emotion side. Just because I didn't understand it, sorry, my own glare on my glasses is bothering me. Just because I didn't understand it did not mean it did not have value. So my first aha moment was actually on the way to court, where I had to go and testify before a judge on behalf of our foster daughter, but against the agency we were working with. And I was absolutely terrified. The last time I had been in court was in college in classes when we were doing observations for my degree. And here I was supposed to get up in front of the judge, and, shortness of breath, literal shaking. I felt hot. I felt tearful. And I remember calling Joy on the way there, and she's like, that little bottle of Stress Away, that you make fun of, it might be a good time to use it. And I'd had it, I'd been carrying it around for like a year. Don't know why, totally a God thing. It was in my purse. I pulled it out. This is not compliant. Can I say this, Joy? I literally opened my mouth and just dropped it under my tongue. I have no idea how many drops I got. 4, 5, 6, something like that. It is not labeled for that. However, the oils within that bottle are all Vitality oils as well. So that's my disclaimer. That is what I chose to do. So I got to court, and guys, that knees knocking for me, it's literal sweating. Like I drench sweat. I don't sweat when I exercise. I can run and not sweat. But if I have to get up and talk in front of someone or share like now, I'm sweating right now, share personal stuff, I'm like, ooh, the pits are dripping. You know, the voice shakes, your brain escapes, like it goes somewhere on a vacation and leaves you behind. And it's just all that blood goes everywhere but where it needs to be. Doing that in desperation, I was able to get up in court, articulate exactly what she needed without the shaking, without the crying. And it was an aha moment for me. Had to go back a week later, forgot the stress away, shook, voice was shaky, was not very articulate, decided difference. So, you know, kind of a good example for me. But that was my, okay, there is something more to the emotional side of oils. We had used Valor for my second child who was not a good reader. Like he was in remedial reading until 3rd grade, didn't learn to read until 3rd grade. It was just a brain thing. Started using Valor that spring with him. He'd failed every state test from kindergarten to 3rd grade. Started using Valor on him. And whether it was a placebo effect or whether it was reality, he went through state testing that year and passed. Again, another, maybe there is something to this whole side of things. And so I began experimenting and using the emotional oils. I'll be honest, in the beginning, like hated the smell of peace and calming. Get it near my face and I will throw it across the room. To this day, Joy and the Happy Day Protocol is not my favorite oil. I have to 50% dilute it, and I had to start by putting it on my feet. However, as someone who has struggled with depression and anxiety for a large part of my life, it is one I have needed. So if you have an aversion to a particular smell that you need it, put it on those points on your feet. Look up the acupuncture brain points on your feet, your big toe. Put some drops on there, put the socks on, and you don't have to smell it. Do that for 30 days, or longer. And it begins to change your brain chemistry. It begins to change that sense of what you smell. To where now I'm like, Joy is not so bad. It's not my favorite still to this day, but at about 50% diluted in that whole Happy Day protocol, it definitely makes a difference. And so that's my, my kind of in a nutshell journey beginning. It didn't, obviously the oils didn't change our circumstances, which was my very limited thinking in that. Not sure where that even came from. But just the ability to process through things is so much easier when I'm using oils. And like Anna talked, I've done some EMDR. There was significant trauma surrounding that whole situation with our family. I'm glad that I can now say that I am thankful that God took us through that. I have learned so much. He has shown what he can do. He has shown his capabilities and his love, and just the whole way that he takes care of us. But it did bring some serious traumatic side effects to my family. And through that journey, learning, like Molly said, putting the oxygen mask on me. Sleep is huge. We went 18 months because she had a rare sleep disorder that was undiagnosed. She could be awake for 48 hours and be totally happy. So my husband and I took turns sleeping every other day. That's like torture even in the military. And it really jacks up your sleep cycle and really jacks up your entire physical body. And it took some time to kind of recover from that. It took some really intentional setting of a new sleep routine, but I really struggled with that. And some of the things that helped me for sleeping, Mega Cal is a calcium supplement from Young Living that I started taking, partly because, like Anna had talked about, when you're under prolonged stress, your body just goes, it just depletes everything out of your body. So I needed a lot of B vitamins. I needed calcium again. I needed to really, really focus intensely on just nutrition and taking care of myself. And then therapy and the EMDR, I also did, and was huge, huge. And using those oils through that process was kind of a puzzle piece in between all of those that connected them together, if that makes sense. So kind of helping with the rewiring and rebuilding of the body is basically what it took. It took for me, and just kind of that recovery process, and then turning around and working through the trauma with our entire family through all of that. And another oil, aside from the Stress Away, that I use on an almost daily basis is Sacred Mountain. I actually have a roller top on it. And I do what Madison said with the peppermint. I'll roll it on my ears. It is calming to me. It is grounding to me when I start kind of feeling that freak out, that, I can't catch my breath, my heart's palpitating, my brain is gone on vacation. Sacred Mountain and Valor are two that are absolutely huge for me to bring me kind of back to center, grounding. And like Molly said, going outside, walking around in the grass, just sitting in silence. Now, silence is relative. I also have 3 boys, but just being outside in nature is very therapeutic to me. And those are just some different tips that I have learned through the last 7 years of being very, very anti, like, anything. I should be able to, grab myself up by the bootstraps and pull myself together to, okay, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to say that I'm failing. It's okay to say that today has not been a great day. It's okay to ask for prayer. It's okay to say, what I'm doing right now isn't working. Do you guys have some tips or tricks? And I definitely have reached out to a bunch of these ladies at various times. And that's what this community has been huge for me. Huge, huge, huge. Is not just the oils and some of the resources we've shared, but together, and failing and falling together, and then getting back up and doing it again and going, today was a really rough day, and that encouragement and that shout out. So that's another thing, is community for me. And even during this quarantine time, when I am a pretty strong extrovert, having people that I can connect with, either Zoom or Facebook or FaceTime, has been huge for me. And that human connection with just a couple of trusted people who can speak life and speak truth in love and gentleness and kindness, and then just say, hey, I've been struggling too, has been huge, huge, huge for me. So that's my story.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. That is amazing. I love hearing all these stories. Joy is going to close us this evening. And so there you go.
When Melinda talked about community, she hit the nail on the head, because I'm a mess, you're a mess, we're all a mess. But within our community, we walk beside each other and we help each other out and help each other not just wallow in our mess. And so I don't know where you're at, and I know where I was at. And my story, while I didn't share it tonight, is very similar to these ladies. Although I will say I came into oils, into Young Living, attempting to prove the claims of the classes that I attended wrong because I didn't believe it would work. There was no way these little drips of oil could do what the teacher at the front of the room said they could do. So I don't know if you're a member already. I don't know if you're still on the fence or if you're just starting to get your feet wet, but I want to show you, and I'm going to start a screen share here. I want to show you how you can get started. So let's see if we can do it. Is it going to work, Molly?
Hang on a second. Okay, now try.
There we go. All right. So depending on what classes you've attended with Young Living, this kit is called the Elite Package, and this is the whole shebang. You've heard about just about every single product in this image tonight. I think the only ones that didn't get covered real well are Thieves, but I don't think I need to be a rocket scientist, nor do you need to be a rocket scientist to know that Thieves in our current situation is really important in your home. And so for $470 investment, if you're new to Young Living, you haven't signed up yet, you can get over $1,200 in products. So you get all the oils that we talked about tonight, except for the Great Day Protocol. You get a diffuser. You get the Ninja Red. That, friend, if you're a member and you're not on Ninja Red, you need to get on Ninja Red. If you want your brain to work right, if you want your hormones to be in balance, if you want energy and clarity of thought, Ninja Red needs to be in your back pocket and in your nutritional wellness plan every day. Then you get EndoFlex. Y'all heard a ton about EndoFlex tonight. So this comes free this month in the promos, okay? And I mentioned in the chat, one of the best ways to learn about an oil that you don't know anything about is to buy it and try it. Because as we've said many times, the way this oil works in my body may be different than how it works in your body. One thing I didn't hear tonight is EndoFlex Vitality. You can ingest EndoFlex. It's one of my favorite ways to use it, and it actually improves my digestive system. That's not what it was designed for, but that's what my body uses it for. Friends, oils, I'm a nurse, okay? The way a chemical medication or an oil operates in my body with my body chemistry is going to be unique to me. The way they operate in your body with your body chemistry, it's going to be unique to you. The best way to figure out how does this work in your body is to try it. So if you want to say, I'm headed down this direction on my journey and I'm ready to do a 180 and go this direction on my journey, this is the package for you, okay? If that's not possible, but you want the Ninja Red, you want the oils, and you want some Thieves Cleaner, you can get this package. This package is $375. It gets you almost $1,000 in products plus all the freebies. And you can detox your household cleaner. You can boost your nutrition. You can bring peace to your home with the oils. And you get all the freebies, including the EndoFlex and Deep Relief. And you know how Melinda mentioned the whole longevity challenge? You get a bottle of longevity and you can attempt a facelift. Now, I don't know if there's any men in this, but there are some other places in my body after feeding 5 children that I would like lifted. So I'm going to see if it will work with that. No, there will not be before and after pictures. But anyway, so here's a quick graphic that kind of shows you a breakdown of some of the options and the different values and the investment. There is also a special going on with just the Ninja Red kit. It's a $135 investment. You get the free longevity, and you're also going to get the a bottle of luscious lemon hand soap, which I've sent samples out to people I love recently, and oh my word, it is all the rage. So lots of different ways to get started with Young Living. Young Living is 27 years old, 26 years old. And if you're just now hearing about it, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you've not been given an opportunity to say yes to a different way of living that offers hope and help and community that will walk along beside you. I had 4 children before I learned about Young Living. And when I realized what Young Living offered, I got really angry because Young Living at that point was like 20 years old. And no one had given me an opportunity to say, no thanks. Not interested in hope, not interested in help. I got mad. So you have an opportunity before you tonight to say yes to hope and help and community. So what I want you to do is I want you to reach out to the person that invited you to this class, and I want you to ask them, how do I get started? And then you choose which package is right for you and your needs right now. Because friend, I wish I had known what I know now 20 years ago. It would have set the stage for a very different story than what my story is now. So reach out to the person that invited you. If you're already a member, incorporate some of these tools that you've heard about tonight. If you're not already using EndoFlex, get EndoFlex on that next order. If you're not already using infrared, get an infrared on that next order. When I got started, I said, I can't afford this. And well, actually, back up. My husband said, honey, we can't afford all these oils. And he said, you're going to have to find a way to pay for it. So guess what? I did. I started sharing with friends who also needed hope. And Young Living started sending me these really awesome thank you checks. So while you don't have to share, if you've got money to spare and you can go buy all these products, go do that. If you need to find a way to make it budget neutral, Young Living offers a way to do that. And it's really easy. And you know what is the most beautiful thing about it? Is someday you're going to be on a call like this and there's going to be a woman in there who's pointing at you like Melinda points at me. And she'll be there because of you. And you sharing with her. And you changed her life. And then there's going to be an Anna McCarg that Melinda shared with, who's also going to be pointing at you and said, because you shared with Melinda, Melinda shared with me. That's community. And that's what this is all about. Help, hope, and a buddy to join you in the journey. When do you want to get started? Yesterday's gone, today's here. What's your tomorrow going to be like?
Thank you so much, Joy, for explaining all of those ways that we can get started. And if you are not a member, reach out to the person that invited you to this, and they can show you exactly how to get started.